Hey everybody, welcome back to the Go Ahead Mr. Joecast. I am here with Onyx. How's it going, Onyx?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Um, yeah, I'll ask a quick first question. How did you discover JoJo?
Ooh, that's a little while ago. Uh, I'd say probably from the fact that I had a friend back in like 2016, 17. Like every time I saw him, it was like, you need to watch this show. And then I just eventually gave in and became a JoJo fan.
When was this?
Like 2016.
Oh, 2016. Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Did it take you a while to get into the show, or did you just like jump into it immediately?
Well, it took me a little while because I found at that time I was finding the episodes being a little too long, and I
Mm.
thought the art style was kind of trash. And then eventually I just gained a love for the art style and been good ever since.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. So I'm guessing you don't really like part one that much.
I wouldn't say I didn't like it, but I'd say part one's a little too short in my opinion.
Mm.
They could have done more with the story because it was only like 40 chapters, I think, in the
Mm.
manga. Only 9 episodes as well.
Mm.
So it wasn't very long.
Yeah, you're right. Wait, so what part are you on right now?
Oh, I'm in the middle of part 8.
Ooh, part eight. What arc or chapter or whatever are you on?
I think I'm on Urban Gorilla, or I forgot how to say it.
Mm, I'm in Gorilla. You liking part eight?
Yeah, I find it pretty good.
Pretty good. Who'd you say is your favorite JoJo?
Oh, it's gonna be either between Johnny and Jolene.
Johnny or Jolene? Ooh, why is that?
Well, I like how they've got Jolene as the first female Joestar.
Mm.
Yeah, the first female main Joestar. And honestly, I just love a character that's crippled. Sometimes I don't know.
I know
especially
what you mean.
especially how he can do all that stuff, especially since he can't use his legs. He can still
Mm.
ride his horse and everything.
Mm. Um, so are those like your favorite parts six and seven, or are
Yeah,
they?
yeah, I'd say part 6 and 7 my favorites.
Mhm. That's a pretty good opinion. Underrated one
Mm.
for sure. Um, what would you say is your favorite Joe Bro?
Ooh, my favorite Joe bro. Ooh, that's a hard one. Yeah, probably Speedwagon.
Speedwagon. Wow.
Yeah,
Just like from Speedwagon from part one.
yeah, I'd say Speedwagon Part One's my favorite Speedwagon.
What is that?
Um, Probably because of the way they introduced him. They just introduced him with just the blade hat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good. Yeah, he is definitely an. It's weird because like he's like not underrated, but he's also underrated. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Who has your who? What's your favorite stand?
Ooh, favorite stand. Uh, I'd say probably D4C.
D4C.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Filthy X at a reasonable price too. um, ooh, that didn't. Um, so you like D4C a lot. Why is that?
Probably for the fact that he can switch between dimensions,
Mm-hmm.
and also that the fact I can't remember because it's been a while since I read Part 7. I think it was because at first Araki was going to introduce him where in all of the multiverses and like all the dimensions that he could go to,
Mm.
each Funny Valentine would have a D4C, and then he realized
Mm-hmm.
how overpowered that would be. and so he's made it so there's one D4C, and every time I think it was every time a Funny Valentine dies, it goes to the next one, and then they come back to the original timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I like how he can like the stand can switch between the same person but from a different thing. If it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a really cool stand.
Mm.
Now, what part really struck out to you? Like, what made you like realize that I like JoJo a lot?
Probably part two, I'd say.
Part two.
Yeah, the main part was probably when they had the moment I was like I love this show was probably the part where geez, it's been a while since I've watched slash read part two. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the part where Joseph had whoever's brain on his back.
Oh, I think that was
I think that was Wamu.
yeah.
No,
No, wait, was it? I think it was
yeah,
ACDC.
I think it was actually because it was the boiling blood one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's ACDC. I think.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's. I gotta rewatch that.
I haven't seen that in like a long time.
Oh yeah, me neither. Have you rewatched any parts?
I have because my friend recently got into JoJo, so
Mm-hmm.
we started rewatching JoJo, but
Mm-hmm.
he didn't want to start from part one. I'm like, probably should, but okay. So we started from part three, and I'm just like, you're not gonna understand like a couple of the, you're not gonna understand Joseph at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I've at the moment we're up to part four.
Hmm. He is he liking part four?
Yeah, he said it. He likes. I think it was. Yeah, he said Okuyasi at the moment is his favorite.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah, he he says he's probably his favorite Joe bro.
Mm-hmm. Not a bad Joe, bro.
Yeah.
Um, what would you say has the coolest stand design?
Ooh, coolest stand design. That's got to be, in my opinion,
Yeah.
that's got to be either White Snake or Kiss.
Ooh, okay, yeah. I've actually yeah, I like those too. Why do you like Whitesnake and Kiss so much?
I like White Snake because of like the disc thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I also like Kiss because of like the way like it's got like all the stick like the peeling off stickers implemented into the actual stand,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and how like just yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Those are two very cool stands designs. Um, um, so do you play the Eyes of Heaven game, or do you know about it?
I do actually.
Ooh, okay. Who do you main in the Eyes of Heaven game?
Sounds cliche, but it's Dio.
Dia. Oh, okay. Which one?
Uh, usually I go part one Dio, sometimes part three Dio.
hmm do you like playing Eyes of Heaven?
Yeah, actually. The friend that got me into JoJo, we've been playing it recently together.
hmm
The bad thing is that not a lot of people play the game, so don't really have anyone to play with besides him. And
Yeah, not only
And it's
that, but
only on PS4 and all that, so
and it's really laggy if you try to go online.
especially if they're in a different region.
Yeah, it's like it's hectic.
Yeah.
So you've been in JoJo for a couple years now.
Mhm.
Have you ever made your own stand?
Ooh. At one point, yeah, I can't remember the details of what it looked like, but I do remember what its main ability was.
What's the main ability?
Main ability was like a mix of it was basically like a mix of Heaven's Door and what was the other one? It was basically Heaven's Door Ascension.
Heaven's Door what?
Like if you know how in the Eyes of Heaven thing, how it's got Dio over heaven and the world over heaven, right?
Yeah.
It's basically heaven's door over heaven.
Oh, okay.
So he can do basically anything that heaven's door can do, but
Mhm.
he can just write on thin air, and he can write on himself and the user. He can make clones of his own stand, and yeah, it was confusing at the time.
Mm. Sounds very overpowered.
Yeah,
Yeah. Still a pretty good sand. Do you remember what you named it, or was it just?
I think I named it. I'm pretty sure I just named it Iraqi because that's basically it. He's basically
Oh,
heaven's door over heaven.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Um. So, do you own anything JoJo related, like merchandise or whatever?
No, actually, I'm. Oh, well, soon I will. I have part 3 and 4 on the way. They're shipping at the moment.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Is it like a poster or like a T-shirt?
Oh, it's the manga.
Oh, it's the manga. Ooh. Okay. Expensive.
Yeah.
Um. All right. Okay. So, what's your opinion on Gappy?
Gappy, I find I like him.
Mm-hmm.
I like how he was introduced.
Mm-hmm.
Just the art style at the moment. My brain's used to the old art style, so I just don't like it at the moment. But I've been
Mm-hmm.
growing to like the new art style better, and
Mm-hmm.
I think Soft and Wet's a good stand, especially since it's a mix of Soft and Wet and Killer Queen,
Mm-hmm.
and how I like
Yeah.
maybe my friend. I don't understand why he keeps joking about it. Is how he's got 4 balls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all he jokes about. Yeah,
It's definitely one of the weirder things in Part 8, but it's surprisingly not the weirdest thing in Part 8.
definitely not.
Um, do you have a character you just absolutely despise?
Ooh, hard to really despise any of the characters. Probably,
Mm.
no, not really despise any of them because I
Mm-hmm.
think they're all cool in their own like individual ways.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if this what I would say I like the least
Mm-hmm.
is only because of how he died. I, Caesar. The
Caesar.
only because of how he died. That's the bit I don't like about him. I like everything else about him, but how he died. That's the only bit I don't like.
That is a very. I mean, why didn't you like his death?
I just found it too sad,
Hmm.
especially with the music
Yeah.
in the background. That didn't help, especially when I was watching for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Did you think the death was like unfair, or do you think that was like a perfect time for him to die?
It was,
If that makes
it was a
sense.
perfect time for him to be. Yeah, he was. It was a perfect time for him to die, but man, I just didn't want him to die though. Like the second I saw, he was in that room and the things were falling. I'm like, he's gonna get crushed. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah, definitely.
I just,
Do you think he had the saddest death?
ooh, that's a very hard one because my friend, he always, this one friend, he's always like, Kakyoin was the saddest death, and I'm like, not really. He just got turned into a donut. I mean, saddest death, I'd say would be probably Abdul. Like, like,
Oh, that is a
like
very underrated
yeah,
opinion.
like the after bit of like where Abdul and Iggy died, like where they're
Mm,
saying goodbye to Polnareff and all that as the spirit. That
mm.
that that bit got me.
Why'd they get you?
Sadness sometimes.
What is that?
Just can't cope with some of the sad deaths. So it was.
Mm-hmm.
I was already I had already been. I loved. I was. I had grown to really love Axel, and then they just kill him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm like the second. So you know how they where he like they faked his death where he got shot, but he didn't really get shot, and then he comes
Yeah.
back. I thought
Yeah.
he had died. I was sad then, and then when he comes back, I'm like, oh yes, he won't die, and plot armor, and I'm like, damn it, at the end.
It was very off-putting.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, part three. What part do you think had the saddest deaths,
it was the saddest death in part three.
or like any part? Like, there's like each part has a lot of deaths, excluding part four.
Yeah. Oh, that's a hard one. I'd say probably the granddad from part four. That is a sad death.
That was a pretty sad death.
Yeah, you can just hear and see the pain in Josuke's character.
Mm-hmm. So, would you say JoJo is your favorite anime or any type of show or whatever, or would you say it's like there's something else out there?
Um, yeah, I'd say it's my favorite. I don't
Mm.
I don't really watch stuff, so
What do you have like an underrated opinion that everybody that you don't seem to like other people's opinion that you don't seem to agree with in the JoJo?
boy, yeah. I my underrated I
Mm-hmm.
told by my friend.
What is it?
It's probably the fact that I think that they could do way more with Stone Free, and they're like, "Nah, Stone Free's already a good stand." I'm like, Stone Free could do so much more though. If Jolene, if they didn't cut off part six then and there, Jolene could have mastered Stone Free and may even have become more powerful than Star Platinum.
Yeah, there's definitely yeah, you're right.
There was so much potential that could have gone into Stone Free, and then just bam, part ended, new part.
One of the saddest part endings.
Just universe reset.
I know, right? Um, would you say there was an ending in JoJo that left you very unsatisfied?
An ending in JoJo that left me unsatisfied.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd just be part six.
that'd be part
I was
six.
just like, what? That's not even a good ending. It was just bam, universe reset. They've just got different names.
Yeah, it was an upsetting ending.
Yeah.
Are there any JoJo theories that you actually like a lot and follow?
Oh yeah. One of them is that Poochie is um in part seven and eight.
Wait, what? I've never heard that one.
Like, because he reset and everything. He figured a way.
Mm-hmm.
He figured a way to get there, or like Funny Valentine grabbed him. He took
Mm-hmm.
he took a vampire mask with him, used the mask, and is just in the background, watching, and that he's apparently that he might be like the main guy, even though he probably isn't in like part eight.
Like the main villain.
Yeah, because there's been way too
Mm.
many of them. Like, there's been way too many minor villains in part eight.
Yeah, don't worry, the main villain's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So where did this theory stem from?
I'm not sure. My friend showed it to me, and I don't remember where he showed me it from. He said he's like, "Oh yeah, I found this really cool and bizarre theory about JoJo." I'm like, "Okay, show me." And then I I actually like did all the thinking, and I'm like, that could be most likely possible.
Hmm. Yeah, that is an interesting theory, to say the least.
Yeah.
Is there is there a stand out there that you really do not like it and you don't get what all the hype's around it?
Yeah, that's easily going to be Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's
Oh.
just I don't like it. It's basically electricity. It's just it. It's just
Mhm.
electricity. Like
Mhm.
if if Iraqi decided to make it something different, like he could make it so much more. Like he could do so much to change how it's used, and yeah.
Mhm. Would you classify Okay, sorry. I got to rephrase that. Do you think part 7 is overhyped?
Oh, definitely not. Part seven's a really good part.
Mhm.
I'd say the main bit that is a little overhyped is how well I can't really think of anything.
Mhm. Well, what was your favorite arc in part 7? What'd you say?
I'd say probably I'd say probably like the start of part seven actually.
Oh, the start, like the first like 20 chapters or whatever.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Why do you like those first so
I
much?
like when they introduce Johnny and Gyro and all that, and how they introduce the race and all that. I find that really good.
Mhm. Yeah, you're right. That is a good way. It was a good way to introduce the part. A lot of people thought that beginning was really slow, but it was needed.
Yeah. Especially since the abrupt ending for part six.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. Speaking of part 6, would you say part 6 deserves the hate it gets?
At least half of the hate that it gets because it's a really good part. It's just the ending and how some of the things ended in it.
Yeah. Do you think part 1 deserves the hate it gets?
Oh, it's a good part, but short. So yeah, I'd say it deserves the hate.
You say it does deserve the hate?
Yeah.
Hmm. All right. Yeah, that's a yeah. Um, is there a main JoJo that you just don't like and you don't understand why people like him?
Oh, not really. No,
Not really.
there's not really a JoJo I don't like and don't understand why people like him. If
Hmm.
anything, hang on, I'll be back.
Oh, it's alright. Um, Joe. I was talking. I said, who's your least favorite JoJo?
Oh yeah. Least, but if I had to choose, it would be it would be part four Jotaro.
Ooh, why do you not like part 4 Jotaro?
Because if Jotaro had actually like built up how and learned how to use time stop, he wouldn't have had his time stop reduced to like half a second.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Very underrated opinion because a lot of people really like part 4 Jotaro.
Yeah, I my friend his favorite Jotaro is part four.
Mm. Um, in JoJo, is there a location that you really liked a lot? So like For example, like the jailhouse in part six, and
Well, favorite location, I'd say
mm,
probably. I'd say 20 Years Restaurant Part 4.
ooh, okay. Why do you like Antonio's restaurant so much?
I like that I like that because of how Antonio was introduced and how Josuke kept thinking he was a villain, even though he was
Mm,
actually just trying to help them and just wanted his kitchen to be kept clean. I like how they introduced
mm,
him like he was gonna be like a main villain, and then suddenly, nope, he's actually a really helpful guy.
mm. Yeah, it definitely was a really good arc. I hadn't seen and yeah, location. Um, what was your favorite battle?
Favorite battle? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the final part 4 fight with
The
Kira.
final part four fight.
Yeah, with Kira and Jotaro. I I'd say probably that because of how Jotaro uses the time stop and he literally just lets out all his anger out on Kira
Mm-hmm.
because he would have had all that anger built up inside him from the start of the part and wouldn't have been able to
Mm-hmm.
let it go because no one to fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really good, and it was fun to watch too. Um, what do you think is like the secret formula to JoJo? What do you think makes it so rewatchable and rereadable, and what makes it so good?
Really cool art style, great
Mm-hmm.
storytelling, pop culture and
Mm-hmm.
music references, and relatable characters, I'd say.
That's really good. That basically sums it up. um, what's what? Okay, who has your favorite stand name?
Cool. Favorite stand name?
Yeah,
Ball Breaker.
Ball Breaker. Ooh, okay. Why do you like Ball Breaker?
Because I like the fact that he's called Ball Breaker and Gyro uses the steel balls, so that also helps with the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I just like the stand. Pretty cool stand.
Yeah. Who has your favorite stand cry?
Oh, favorite stand cry?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'd say probably Giorno's.
Giorno's Muda.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that a lot too.
I like that Mudo better than Dio's, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Why do you like Giorno's more?
Because it's got like more like passion in it, whereas Dio's is more like bloodlust and hatred in it.
Mm-hmm. Um, do you like Dio's re better or Giorno's re?
I like Giorno's better because with the 7 page Mudo, it goes together so well.
Mm-hmm. Do you like part five?
Yeah, I like part 5. I think part 5 is underrated, but it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Giorno deserves the hate he gets?
No, he really does not deserve the hate.
Why do you say that?
Probably because he's funnier. Because of like the different scenes. Just hang on,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back.
Okay.
We were talking about part 6, I believe.
Part no, I thought it was part five.
Oh yeah, part 5. Hmm.
Um, I said, do you think part five deserves the hate it gets?
Well, as much of the hate it's get, but,
What do you say?
but deserves a little of the hate because I'd say that's the gayest part.
Why do you say that?
Probably for the Giorno and Mista scene, and then Hmm.
Yeah, it definitely had its moments.
Yeah.
um, what do you think of the fashion in JoJo?
Oh yeah, the clothes and all that.
Yeah, like the
Really, yeah,
fashion.
really good.
Yeah,
Each
really good.
character has their own color scheme most of the time, and
Mhm.
it really actually reflects on like the character's personality, like how
Mhm.
Jotaro was like just black and gray because he's like all bottled up and doesn't show emotion,
Mhm.
and then like part two, Joseph, he had like those all like tons of colors to show
Mhm.
how like ambiguous and like crazy he can be.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'd say the clothing and the fashion in the show is really
Mhm.
good at showing the character's personality and stuff.
Mhm. What do you think of Araki's treatment of dogs?
There's a difference between being a cat person and killing every dog in your show. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think he needs to kill every dog that's on the show because he's killed Danny. He's killed those two dogs from part three, and then also Iggy.
Mhm. And then another part 3 dog.
Yeah,
Yeah, he has killed a lot of dogs.
the difference.
um um what would you say you prefer, the anime or manga?
Oh, I'd say the manga because you don't have to worry about like having to watch a show and then
Mhm.
you have to hear their voice. But the good thing is that
Mhm.
you can know how the names are pronounced in the show
Mhm.
because you wouldn't know how they're
Mhm.
pronounced unless someone who actually is working on like that official thing says how it's said. You might say
Mhm.
like Giorno as Jarono or something like that.
Mhm.
It really depends the type of person you are because I personally like the manga better because I'm more of a reader.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't blame you with that. The manga can definitely have its moments. Same with the anime.
Yeah.
Um, Sorry, I had a total brain fart right there. I don't know what happened.
No, that's okay.
Okay, so Araki's style has evolved, and you said you're getting used to the new style, right? So, getting used to the new style, do you prefer the characters to be like more like widely buff like Jonathan, or more like skinny like Josuke Part 8?
Skinny because it's you're more likely to be like Josuke Part 8 than you are to be Jotaro Part 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Um, do you like how the stands are getting more complicated?
Yes,
Why do you like the stands getting more complicated?
because it also shows like the development in the characters and how if it more complex the stand, the more smart and easily the person can control it. Shows how smart they can be. Like
Mm.
I like how in where they had Star Platinum and all that, how in the
Mm.
Alessi fight and all that, how Jotaro lost his stand because he's only a kid, but also like how they show
Mm.
that Jotaro doesn't have to depend on his stand, and it was that he was a child, but he was still able to be a grown adult
Mm.
by doing the exact same thing as Stan does, but with his own fists.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. Um, with the stands getting more complicated, is there a stand out there that you still don't understand or took you a while to understand?
That's gotta be probably Alessi actually, because I don't understand why someone would just have a stand that turns things into kids, and then yeah, because there's not really a point in turning someone into a kid.
Well, he just likes beating children up.
I mean, yeah,
um, what would you say is harder to understand, D4C or King Crimson?
I'd say D4C would be harder to understand because King Crimson, you just explain, oh yeah, he can just skip time a couple seconds and he can see what happens in those couple seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you'd have to explain a whole thing about how D4C can jump and look into different universes and dimensions, and
Mm-hmm.
he can take people from the dimension to your dimension, and then suddenly you just fuse together and dead. Because that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's more complex to understand. Whereas just oh, he can skip time a couple of seconds.
Mm-hmm. Is there a stand that you would want, like personally?
Oh, personally, I would want Heaven's Door because of if you had Heaven's Door could be the most powerful stand if within the right person. Like
Mm-hmm.
say you gave Heaven's Door to say you gave Heaven's Door to like Einstein or something.
Mm-hmm.
He could just solve anything. Like and if you knew you know how you can't write on yourself if you have Heaven's Door.
Yeah.
Just write on someone else saying they also have Heaven's Door. Then they can write on you.
Oh.
That's something a lot of people don't think about when thinking of Heaven's Door. They just think, oh, the stand's not the best because you can't write whatever you want on yourself. And then you could
Mm-hmm.
write like this person has Heaven's Door and they can write anything and anything will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't make sense for a lot of the things Heaven's Door can do, especially since he can just write, oh yeah, this kid will fly back 75 miles an hour at this time randomly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah. You.
that'd be a standard one.
Yeah. It's definitely a really cool stand to have, and it'll be fun. Um. Do you like the newer stand designs or do you like the older stand designs? So like parts 3 and 4, and then parts 5, 6, 7, 8.
I like the newer stand designs because the more complex they are, the more complex you know the person is. Because it's all
Mm-hmm.
dependent on the type of person.
Mm-hmm. Would you prefer more sentient stands or non-sentient?
I prefer a sentient stand because sentient stands don't really just do anything. They just do whatever you say. I'd rather have a
Mm-hmm.
stand that can like listen to me and just talk. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because I liked where they had Spice Girls start talking to Trish at the start, and
Mm-hmm.
then she was her own she was sentient until Trish had like mastered her, and then she became like a normal stand
Mm-hmm.
because Spice Girls was basically like a side of was her own side of Trish that she
Mm-hmm.
hadn't come to terms with. So and once she
Mm-hmm.
had come to terms with it, she was Spice Girls was just like any other stand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do wish we saw more of Spice Girls though.
Yeah.
Um, is there a okay? Is there a stand that you wish got the Requiem arrow? Like, what stand would you want to see be Requiemed,
Oh, I
except for Heaven's Door?
yeah. I'd say a stand that would be I would want to see Requiem would probably be a hard one because a lot of stands could be like it also depends on what they want in that moment
Mm-hmm.
because Jono just wanted him to like Jono just wanted him to. be forever dying and all that.
I mean, we can just pretend that, like, let's say everybody just wanted to have their stand be a little more powerful.
I guess I'd actually just want to see what would have happened if King Crimson had the stand arrow instead of Golden Experience.
That'd be terrifying.
Instead of 5 seconds, you can just skip an hour.
Oh God,
That just
that would be truly terrifying.
because he could just do anything and then suddenly time's just skipped an hour.
Mm-hmm. Um, who is your favorite villain? Yeah,
Favorite villain? Oh, I'd say probably Poochie. 'Cause
Poochie.
I like how he was introduced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Poochie was my favorite villain.
Yeah, Poochie's not a bad choice.
Yeah,
He's very cool.
they're all really cool villains, but I'd say Poochie's got a really cool story design and how he was
Mm-hmm.
introduced.
Mm-hmm. Um, is there a villain that you just don't like an uninteresting villain?
Uh, I just don't find I don't really find oh my brain. What was his name again? Well, this is
uh,
an unpopular opinion, but I don't find Kira uh that interesting. He's he's a stand user who just wants to live a peaceful life because yeah he kills people, but he just wants to live a peaceful life.
mm-hmm. Very underrated opinion.
Yeah, very underrated.
Mm. What makes you not like Kira?
I mean, he could have done so much more with his stand. He could have
Mm-hmm.
he could have used bites the dust on like just gone to someone, used bites the dust and activated it, and he could just go
Mm-hmm.
back like 24 hours or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't understand how he got bites the dust, even though he didn't get he got hit with the arrow a second time.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really give him another stand. It just upgraded his stand.
Mm-hmm. I think even Araki said himself he kind of like feels like he gave him too many abilities,
Yeah.
which makes sense. Um, what stand would you be like the most terrified? So if a stand were to attack you, what stand would you not want to attack you?
Oh, head doctor.
Head doctor?
Yeah, that's
Why is that?
just sees you dead.
Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense.
Not a stand you want to mess with. You do not want to mess with that user.
Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna leave one final question, and this question's for all the marbles. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
It's gonna settle a lot of arguments. Who do you think has the worst theme and the best theme?
Wait, can you repeat that?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Who do you think has the worst theme and the best theme?
Best theme, I'd say. Best character theme, I'd say, would be Josuke's theme, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say worst theme has probably got to be Jotaro's.
Yeah, it's fair. Why do you like Josuke's and not like Jotaro's?
I mean, Josuke's, you can like, the vibe is really good. And Jotaro's pretty good, but I wouldn't listen to it all the time.
Mm-hmm. I'd say those are pretty good opinions. To to wrap things up, is there anything you want to plug in?
No, really.
Not really. All right, that's fair. All right. Well, if you like this podcast, remember just like and subscribe. Soon, this podcast will. I'm trying to get it available on Spotify, Apple, everything. So
Get back, Charger!